I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are that of the owner, me, Nathan Betts, owner of TimespentPoorly.com. If any content found herein offends you, please, you're encouraged to fuck off and hit the stop button. No one's making you listen to this, but I sure am glad that you're here. Welcome to Time Spent Poorly.
Feel like you've been down the same road. I'm not afraid.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Hangin from the Balcony with me, Sir Jarod, Thomas, the fuck,
Thomas the fuck.
the fuck, Tom,
Really
Lewis the
creative.
Professor.
Hello!
Kimberly is now joining us, thankfully, and Nathan, the producer.
Hi, I think I pushed all the buttons in the right order this time. And it's
Hopefully-
recording, we've made sure.
Hopefully, we are actually being recorded right now, unlike last time.
We've
we were
been
supposed to
assured
be.
that it is being recorded properly this time. I can see myself, so...
Due
yeah.
to a malfunction in the producer.
Video producer. I'm blaming Adam for that one. That one is all him. I have no idea what's going on back here. He literally showed me what to do and walked out the door. So
But now we are videoed
we are here, and
live.
I look like a lumberjack today. So
Yeah,
that's
you do.
good. That's awesome. So
or a lesbian.
what?
whatever.
Yeah,
Tomato.
Butch. I made sure to put something right behind Thomas, just special for him, right to the right of his
And
head.
Thomas deflowered it.
That's right. That's okay because he can't see it from here. So his favorite band is representing right behind him. It's just special for him.
So talented.
That's right. Motherfucking
He
right.
can like sing through his nose. It's awesome.
More talent in their toenail clippings than most of us in this room. So that's besides the point. So
this is our podcast where we talk about movies and more movies and more movies. And did you already tweet out that we got the number going?
Oh, you can give us a call at 188 38. There's 3 8s in there. 1-888-317-2694. And I am
you can call us in.
You do that, and I'll send out a text real quick, or a tweet, or whatever the fuck I do.
Yeah. And so let's start right away, guys. What all did we see for new releases this week? I think we all kind of went and saw Star Trek.
We did. We all saw Star Trek Into Darkness. Most of us went together. Jared, you didn't go.
I didn't get to. I had to work, but I got to see it later on. So. I went with Derek.
Thomas went and saw it twice, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
Yep.
That's
Once
dedication.
in 3D.
Once in 3D and once in 4D.
I'm still trying to recover. My eyesight hasn't come back yet.
From the flares, the
Oh my
light flares
God.
blasting in your eyes.
Okay, question. In 3D, are those weird camera flare, whatever the fuck those are, the blue flares, are they different in 3D? Do they go right in your eyeballs?
They're multiplied.
Are
like,
they?
Yeah, no,
Worse?
it's like,
Better?
I feel like I'm staring into mini suns.
Awesome.
Just
In the 2D, I only noticed like it twice. I think
I noticed
really
it a
noticed
couple
it.
times.
I counted
on
it
the
6
bridge.
times.
If people are trying to decide whether they should see it in 2D or 3D, I really recommend 2D. Not just because of the lens flare, but honestly, it wasn't that impressive as far as there was nothing that really came out at you.
I haven't seen a 3D movie where I felt like, 3D is the way to go for ever. Maybe
My
Avatar.
Bloody Valentine
Oh.
3D was definitely worth it.
Listen here, I drove all the way to the Tri-Cities just to see that in 3D because Lewiston didn't have a 3D projector yet at that point.
Why?
Then what did we
Was
watch?
it worth it? We
What-
were down in
Oh, we were-
Stillwater, Oklahoma.
No, it was not worth it.
Imagine that.
But it was worth it for the trip that surrounded the
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
that we made a big day of it and went and fucked around at the mall and Yeah.
So Star Trek.
Almost shit
What'd you
my
guys
pants.
think? What'd you think?
Star Trek, I thought it was okay.
That's exactly what my wife said.
A
I
ringing
liked
She's
it.
like, "Meh."
I liked it, but I wouldn't say that I'm gonna buy it. I don't know.
Is there anywhere between any I liked it or buy it? Is there space?
I'd give it like a 6.
Dollar movie. That's
Like
for
I'd give
me.
it like a 6 rating. Like if someone gives it to you as a gift, you're like, oh, cool,
Sweet. Back to
thanks.
the shelf. I rate it. I rate it regular movie, dollar movie. Might rent it and will definitely buy it. That's how I rate it.
And
Not
what did you give
What'd
Star
you give
Trek
it?
Into Darkness?
Dollar movie.
Dollar
I would
movie?
have done a dollar movie.
Yeah,
Otherwise-
okay. On that scale, I can see that. I thought it was fun.
I did
had
too.
A good time
I did too.
while I was watching it. It's only afterwards, as I've thought about things, that I
Yeah.
started to say, "Wait a minute,
Yeah.
that was dumb, and
'Cause
this made no sense."
It bugged me right from the get go, and I was because I went with Derek and Katie, and I'm like, why didn't they just teleport Spock to the volcano and then teleport?
Because there
him
was
back
interference in there on the bottom of the
out?
ocean.
Oh,
and yet, well,
which is
see,
another big problem.
like those are some of the problems. I mean, right off the bat, they can't teleport Spock in because of interference from
Yeah.
the ash, but they can teleport him out
yeah,
If they're right above the volcano.
if they're right above the volcano.
Less interference.
but I get.
But then why not get right above the volcano and teleport him in then?
yeah. Well, I get the whole point because
they're
they
trying
wanted.
to hide themselves, remember?
From with the shuttle.
Oh, from within. There's no teleportation in the shuttles.
But the whole
There
point
are.
of that is because they wanted They had to think of something to get Kirk into trouble.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's the whole
absolutely.
point. But I think they could have found something better.
You're right. And the new Star Treks have no respect for the idea that the Enterprise is purely an orbitable how do I say orbit?
Orbitable.
Yeah, you said it right the first time.
Orbital ship.
Orbital.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's purely orbital. It doesn't come into the atmosphere. It doesn't land. But even the first Star Trek movie, they're building it on the land.
Yeah.
So, the new guys have decided that the Enterprise is a
They
lot
changed the rules.
sturdier.
Yeah.
well, yeah, it's the future.
Well, more sturdy than the original
Yeah.
Yeah.
series was.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it never. The whole reason they had teleporters is because they couldn't
Yeah.
bring the ship in.
Well,
You know.
well
It
clearly,
makes sense. It
well-
doesn't really look like the type of ship that could really land.
It's not it's not streamlined in any way. It's clearly not meant to fly through an atmosphere.
Well, clearly-
or through the ocean.
clearly they made it like it's an alternate universe of Star Trek.
Yeah,
Well, it is.
yeah. Well, and J.J. Abrams has flat out said that he hates the original Star Trek for a lot of reasons, and
Yeah.
mostly because it's not exciting or entertaining,
Yeah.
and he wanted to make a Star Trek that was. So.
Yeah.
There he succeeded, I think.
I think so,
agree
too.
too.
I think
It is
so, too.
very, very entertaining. It's just there's just
It's
the
well,
things that are.
it's
just
hard
kind of-
to be fair on his part. Almost every Star Trek movie that's come out is based around a series where they've had time for character development, fun stories, serious stories, all sorts of different plots and enemies and characters that they've already introduced in the series, and then they can pick and choose whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas he's creating, new Star Trek universe characters, villains, and that he doesn't have any sort of series to back it up. So, I mean, and in that case, I think
it's kind of the worst of two worlds because he doesn't have the established characters, but at the same time, there's enough Star Trek geeks out there that are like, I know who Scotty is. Scotty does this, and if he doesn't do that, I'll be upset.
Yeah.
You know?
Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know.
Anyways.
Anybody?
Kimberly,
Kimberly, what'd you think?
Speaking,
Scotty was my favorite character in the whole
I
movie.
did like Scotty, yeah.
People really like Scotty.
You were super. No, I really had a good time. I liked it. You have to accept that. I think what Lewis was saying, the film is not the original series, and I'm
Right.
hoping that the next one is there a next one? There's a next one.
There'll be a three.
I think
There'll be
so,
a
yeah.
three.
Yeah. I'm hoping that it's more about space exploration and adventure as opposed to fighting and battling it out. Because everyone says, I mean, they say on the ship, "Why are we fighting so much? We're not a battleship,
we're,
right? It doesn't make any sense, right? Because it gets blown to
We're
shit."
exploratory type
Yeah.
missions
And I
and
think
stuff.
they can still do fun things and make it make sense, like in the opening sequence, where they're not fighting anyone; they're just trying to survive and getting themselves into you know
Yeah.
deep hot water. I mean, that's fun. It can be good and it can be beautiful and it can be compelling, but it's not battling your evil,
Speaking
nemesis.
of video or beautiful, some of those scenes, like as soon as they come out of the warp, just the colors and the planets, it was really beautiful.
They put more production value into these last 2 Star Trek movies than the whole series.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
And when you go back and I have a very soft spot in my heart for like Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan. But when you go back and look at the original movies, even that one, they're terrible. You know, I mean, I love them because I love Star Trek, but there's not a lot to, like, if I wanted to bring in some 15-year-old and say, hey, check out this great show that I grew up with, they'd watch for about 5 minutes and say, this is bullshit. I'm going to go back and watch the new Star Treks.
Yeah.
And I got to say, the actors, I think, are great. I think the acting is great.
And that's where I think, as far as, and I realize it's a movie and he has to make it exciting, is I think they should really concentrate on character development. They have a fantastic cast.
Yeah.
Everyone does an amazing job.
They nail their characters.
Absolutely. Carl Urban as
Judge
Bones
Dredd
is
as
just-
Bones.
I know the whole time I want him to be like, I am the law.
What's so great?
Put that fucking crown on.
It's exactly the opposite of Judge Dredd.
Yeah,
I mean,
he
they're
is.
both angry, I guess, but he's playing like almost a nerd.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he pulls it off.
Yeah.
5 years in space. God help me.
Well, but I mean, I think Chris Pine does a better Kirk than Shatner,
No.
which is bananas because I mean he's
Shatner
still
sucks,
being
sorry.
Shatner. You can tell he's doing Shatner things,
Yeah.
but he just doesn't do them as big.
Over the top.
Over the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Quinto's Spock is as good as
Oh.
Spock's was.
They all
and
feel really grounded and
Yeah.
real, so there's
Yeah,
no
they're
reason why they
great.
shouldn't be developed further.
A lot of I've talked to a couple different people. Funny thing about Spock is they've only really seen the movies with the old cast, not so much the TV series, and that's when Spock was logical almost all the time.
Right.
And they said that they liked that because when he did show a faint bit of humanity, it was like a treat. Whereas,
That's true, that's
whereas in
true.
this, I realize he's young still, and you can go back to the old series, including the Wrath of Khan episode. Spock does get emotional a lot, like him and Kirk even fight it out sometimes.
But aren't they trying to not be the original? Because if you're just the original, then what's the point of making?
Yeah, you're right. I think their Spock.
Then giving a little bit of difference.
I think
to
their
it.
Spock's pretty good, but
Yeah.
he's at his best when he is being logical, especially
Yeah,
in those
totally.
moments when you want him to be
Yeah.
emotional, and he says,
Yeah.
the whole audience laughs
Yeah.
because it's so wrong. You know,
Oh,
it's
when they get called in after the first blunder, and he
Kirk-
does his
Yeah.
whole like Spock talk with the
they're a
commander.
great team.
yeah, it's,
Pine and sorry, I don't even Siler.
it's
Pretty sure that's his name, right?
Zachary.
Yeah.
And Xander Quintus.
Honestly, I thought Benedict Cumberbatch's Khan was good. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed watching him on the screen. So
Spoilers.
it was just
Good villain.
Did I just spoil
I
it?
think he's
Well, we know I think we were talking about it earlier. We mentioned Khan. So.
Oh yeah, and by the way, we spoil the shit out of movies on the show. So
Well, and the fact is,
So what I want to know is that
It's all over the internet.
Vulcans are stronger, right, than
Yeah.
humans?
Yeah,
correct?
yeah,
they're way
physical-
stronger.
physically
Okay.
stronger.
Because
and the reason
that was one thing. Like I'm like, Khan crushed a guy's head with his bare
oh my
hand.
god, that was
Yeah.
amazing.
and yet Spock can go toe to toe with him.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I
pretty
mean?
close.
In fact, that's funny. It happened in the original Star Trek series, not the movie. Kirk can't take Khan on, and Spock shows up, and they duke it out. And
Well, and I loved that he did his Vulcan nerve pinch.
Yeah,
on
that
Khan.
was
Khan
really
just kind
good.
of like
Yeah.
ow, but he
Oh.
doesn't go
Yeah.
down.
That's
That's
really
awesome.
annoying. I also like that all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Spock could jump 30 feet in the air.
Yeah, that
he's
was funny too.
stronger
I was
than
like,
humans,
whoa,
obviously.
That was bananas.
He
That was
is
just silliness.
better, faster.
Stronger.
They had troubles.
No, with that was bad. That was such a telegraph. Like, I'm randomly injecting a dead tribble.
Oh,
with,
I know.
That's their,
Khan blood.
it's-
Yeah.
To be fair, it's their version of a guinea pig or a
yeah, I know,
hamster.
and they had to do that so that when they,
For the reveal of
Yeah.
reveal
bringing
something
him
later,
back.
then we can go, oh, okay. Yeah, but to
Which
answer
you
your question-
saw coming a mile away after
Yeah,
they did that.
That's the problem. Sometimes if foreshadowing isn't done properly. The correct way to do foreshadowing in a movie is to make you think the reason they're giving you information is because of something that's happening at that moment. And then when it comes back later, you'll be like, oh, that was the real reason they told us that. I forgot about that. And if you want to see it done perfectly,
Yeah.
Wreck-It Ralph. Wreck-It Ralph has the best
Yeah.
foreshadowing and then a reveal at the final scene where you find out who the villain is and
If-
you go,
if you
holy
say
cow.
so.
I think Wreck-It Ralph's ending is perfect.
I still haven't
Yes.
seen that yet. I gotta see that.
Wreck-It Ralph.
It's overrated. And it,
I'm not saying
I'm
the
definitely
movie's-
watching it then.
I'm not saying the
Wreck-It
movie's
Ralph.
perfect, but I am
No,
saying
everyone says
foreshadowing is handled perfectly in Wreck-It Ralph.
Well, and is it on Star Trek? Is it timing because we find out that the little dude's wiggling like 3 minutes before you find out
it's
what
a
his
lot.
name is?
It's a lot
3
to do with
minutes,
timing.
like, simultaneously.
But really, what it boils down to is the scene where he injects the tribble with blood. McCoy's like, I'm going to inject this tribble with some con blood for no good reason. Like, he literally says, for no reason at all. You know?
well, he says that it had super regenerative properties, and he wants to know why.
Yeah, exactly. But it's so out of place with everything else that's going on in the room. Like, everyone else is having a conversation over here.
But
and
why'd
then-
they do it on a dead? On a
Yeah,
dead one?
Because
I know.
because it's regenerative.
Instead of just
Because
beat,
that one was
instead of
his
just
favorite, all
instead of
right?
just beat the shit out of this whole thing.
I've seen complaints online that are like, well, now that he's created a super tribble that can't be killed, because tribbles replicate just
Yeah.
naturally.
Oh,
and
shit.
the danger with tribbles, if you've ever seen the trouble with tribbles, is that they'll just keep replicating until they fill up your spaceship.
and they'll eat all of your food
they'll
stores.
eat all your food
and
stores.
Get
and-
in the
'cause
vents.
When they
do
eat,
everything.
they reproduce. And they're adorable, but they're dangerous.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So
Well, that's-
like you said,
yeah.
it's unkillable now.
It's an
That's-
unkillable tribble.
that's great.
Probably like the most dangerous, adorable thing that
So
Star Trek's
now
ever
does
seen.
this make Kirk?
Ever since
Well, and that's a
Gremlins.
good question. Is Kirk immortal? Now that they have this way of regenerating dead people, does anyone die anymore on the
Well,
planet?
is he now going to be like super strong too?
No, because it's his body's not going to keep on producing the same blood.
Yeah,
Blood's
but
not
if-
always good.
The question is, why let anyone die? Just get some more
They
of
could
that
literally-
synthetic blood
Yeah.
and just
They
keep
should have done
saving
that.
Those
people.
guys are all locked up in a locker. There's 72 of them.
And they
Don't bring
all
back
have-
the bad guy. Just bring back like the little teeny the little guy.
They're all war criminals.
Okay, but but seriously, don't bring back Khan because he's
But
bad.
just don't even wake him up at all.
Yeah,
just take some blood from him.
Yeah. Hopefully that will
Save the
regenerate
universe. I mean,
while he's frozen.
20,000 people die in San Francisco and no one blinks an eye. But
I know.
heaven forbid one of our guys. Also, I'm kind of tired of building spaceships that if your artificial gravity goes out, it's a death trap.
Yeah.
Like, they should probably plan better for that when they build their spaceship next time. Like, what if the gravity goes out? People will fall down this giant pit. Oh.
Well, let's not do
Let's,
that.
let's put walls around these
Let's put some
Yeah.
padding
platforms.
here.
Let's put some padding in here. Yeah, exactly. Like, it made for really exciting moments while I was
Yeah.
watching it, but afterwards I think about it and I'm like, that's
Well, but
probably
then
the
you could
poor
also
choice.
go like, look at the way the Enterprise is shaped. I mean, what way is that practical?
Not, you're right. No, no, actually, you're right. Any of my complaints about the new movie, I can actually level at Star Trek as a whole.
Yeah.
For 30 years, it's had those. Like, the true argument is, well, why would you send the captain of a spaceship down on an away team mission where he could be killed?
Yeah.
Shouldn't he be on the ship? Shouldn't they have a whole team
He's
of
being
away team
a
people?
true leader takes the
Yeah.
lead.
Exactly. There's 7 guys on the ship that do everything.
Right.
Everyone else is a specialist and sitting around in the background.
I actually didn't like that about the new Star Trek movie as the random aliens. It's not like subtle, like, maybe his forehead looks different or he has 3
know.
fingers. It's like cyborg guy with a little rotor in the back of his head
Right.
with a loud vacuum voice.
And he has one
then,
line,
Right for Captain, shields
Yeah.
are down.
yeah, you're like,
oh, okay,
what?
what was that?
Wow, that was impressive.
Yeah,
What?
that's what it sounded like.
Wasn't that the same
I've been practicing
thing in,
all week.
Wasn't that the same thing in like Fifth Element when
Yeah,
they're in
yeah.
that big ship
Yeah.
and they got
No,
the
you're
dude
right.
that's behind the little
This idea that
that's
they've-
still different.
there's a
Yeah.
1,000 races, and so the Enterprise is
home to
not
108.
just humans.
I think it's a. Go ahead.
The way they settled that in the original was that each ship in the Federation ran its own people. So humans ran on a human ship,
Oh,
and
that
Andorians ran on an Andorian ship, and that's why Spock was kind of an anomaly because he was
A
at least
Vulcan
half
on the-
Vulcan,
yeah.
and he was on a human ship, and that was kind of a neat thing for that ship.
But then in the later years or whatever, with Baldy McHugh, whatever his name was, Patrick.
They had
a
Klingon,
Klingon in that one.
and a robot. But everyone else is human.
And in fact, that's the whole big thing. Is Data's a big deal because he's a actual living, moving robot or android or however you want to say it.
An AI dude.
Yeah, but and then it seems like with that robot guy you impersonated, it's like suddenly we have humanoid robots. I don't get it.
Yeah,
quite.
But it's fine. But then see, this is the thing. At the end of the day, I maybe you should go in with low expectations, because I kind of had heard that it was a mess, and I went in and I just spent the whole movie going, I'm having fun.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's how I go into every single
it's
movie.
very
I try to see very few previews for it. I hear the title, I decide if I'm interested in it or not, and I try to ignore the TV and go in and have a good time.
It sounds like we all agree the story is kind of messy, but
It's
the
all fun.
characters
It's all fun.
pull it out.
Yes.
Like the actors do an incredible job.
Yeah.
I interrupted you, Jared. What were you going to say? I'm sorry.
Oh, I just said it's fun.
Oh, okay, cool. Sorry. So, Star Trek, see it. Don't see it in 3D, though, right?
For sure not.
Don't see it in 3D. No.
Go
It's nothing
see
special,
anything
just a
in 3D.
headache.
If you really want something to do for the weekend, go to the theater and watch it. If you don't really like, if you're kind of like, I kind of want to go, but I don't want to spend $9, just wait for it to come out to rent.
The Admiral, not Pike, who's the captain.
Peter Weller, who played Admiral Marcus.
God,
Yeah.
that was beautiful. Seeing him in there, I know.
The Pike and the Admiral.
Derek does it the best.
Do a
Dead or
voice-
alive, you're coming with me.
Dead or alive, you're coming with
They
me.
do the voices of animated Batman. Fun little fact. Yeah. The Admiral does the voice of Batman in Dark Knight Returns.
Those new ones they just came out with?
Yeah, and then Pike does the voice for Under the Red Hood and Young Justice.
You know what? I've got some news that kind of connects to this Star Trek Into Darkness. You know how it's directed by J.J. Abrams, and
Yes.
his next movie is going to be Star Wars, right?
Right.
Well, one of the co-writers on Star Trek was Damon Lindelof, who also co-wrote Prometheus and Lost, and he's known for his science fiction stuff, but I'm starting to think that Lindelof doesn't understand how to make like a logical story. Like his stories always kind of fall apart. I thought Prometheus had really cool characters,
It did.
but I thought logically it started to fall apart. Like about halfway through, I started going, "Wait, why is that guy in this? And what's happening? Why did he just dip his finger in there? Like, what purpose did that serve?
Why is the dad here?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's run away from the big rolling thing
Yeah.
underneath its wheel.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
not
Let's
move
run-
out of the way.
Yeah.
Don't go sideways. So those kind of things, and I'm starting to think it's Lindelof that does it. And here's why I bring it up. He has been rumored to maybe be working on the new Star Wars with the guy from Toy Story 3. And if they bring him in, he might get those characters and really make it. But boy, I worry that there'll be some
Some weird things happening
weird
story-wise.
plot twists that
Yeah.
don't make any sense.
So
Oh,
we're
well.
gonna see Jar Jar Binks again.
Oh, God.
It's just a rumor, though. There's no
Well, I guess
no one saw that
the
coming.
nice thing about
new Jar Jar.
I guess Star Wars is you don't have to worry about things like time travel and like any other complicated
Time travel paradoxes.
unless
and
there's a
whatnot.
twist on the Force or something.
Well, luckily,
Oh, my God.
the prequels ruined it so
Right, so
bad that
the-
almost nothing can be worse than those prequels.
Right.
Metachlorians.
Yeah, metachlorians is the worst.
Hopefully they make some kind of like funny reference. They're like, well, what if it's just something in my blood? And just be like, don't be dumb.
Don't be dumb. It's clearly
Yeah.
just that it's
This
the Force is what binds us. It's a spiritual thing.
It'll be fun as long as the Rock's in it. So
Oh, good point.
The Rock is
Isn't
playing
Oh my-
Boba
well,
Fett.
didn't you? Were you the one saying he?
Boba Fett's
he's-
brother.
Who was the one mentioning that he was trying to get in on it?
I think that was me.
Was it you? Yeah.
The Rock
That would
Which
be
would be
awesome.
funny.
Just like Samuel L. Jackson did.
as hairless Chewbacca.
I'm Chewbacca's half brothers twice removed.
The Rock is what Chewie is, like shaved. Jesus.
Paul Walker as Han.
Yeah, and you see Rock.
Paul Walker as Han's son,
Yes.
and Chewbacca played by Vin Diesel.
God.
This is turning into the best movie
And you
ever.
just
I want
find
to
out-
see this now.
And Han and
Diesel is
Han
Darth
and
Vader.
Chewie are just blowing each other in the Millennium Falcon.
It's
I
called
said
Star
they're-
Fury.
it's-
It's
Looks
all
like
right.
we're gonna have to go into overdrive.
Just his hands gone.
Those are disgusting.
That's the first time I've ever heard a Chewbacca gag.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
I love it when you
Diesel, he
gag
just
on me,
talked.
Bach.
He wouldn't even attempt to growl.
Oh, that's too funny.
I bought Inglourious Bastards, but didn't watch it yet. But I did buy Hall Pass for the wife because she loves it, and watched that with her this week. And we won't.
Who's in Hall Pass?
Hall Pass is Jason Sudeikis and Owen Wilson.
Oh yeah, I remember when that came out.
And,
You really wanted to see it.
Christina Applegate and not Zoe Deschanel, but the one I get her confused with, Jenna.
Katy Perry.
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah.
Jenna
Elfman.
no,
Fisher?
Fisher. I don't know why I
From
get.
Office?
Yeah.
Finish.
You don't get those two confused.
I don't know why. Just in the face. I don't know why.
What?
Zoe Deschanel and
And-
No.
Just in the face. I don't know why.
Is it
No.
raining, Siri? Okay. It's a Zooey reference.
Yeah.
I hate Zoe Deschanel.
Oh God.
Oh
Don't,
my god.
don't get us all started. She actually won my Harpy Madness, which we'll get to one of these days.
Did she?
Yeah,
What?
she
Really?
did. Yeah, she did.
She came second in mine.
I gave it to Kristen Stewart.
Now,
Who was yours?
Kat Dennings was mine. Number
Kat
one.
Dennings. These are the worst actress in the ever.
I
Kat
think they're
Dennings.
all-
My entire
bad.
list for this is Kat Dennings. I have big tits. Kat Dennings. I have big tits. That's the only reason why you would hire her, is because she's like, hey, I got cleavage. That's all I do.
What about her hilarious turns on Two Broke Girls?
Who's Catherine?
Catherine Heigl.
Heigl.
Yeah, I hate her a lot. Hall Pass was good. There's a couple funny parts. There's a love interest gal that you end up getting to see her titty meets, and she's got great ones. And there's a really funny joke. There's a really funny joke with him, and he goes to work out, and he meets the really hot love interest. They're supposed to meet for a beer after they work out because it's a fitness club that serves alcohol. It's a weird thing, but
Well, it sounds like the movie's making sense before then to begin
Yeah,
with. So
that's right.
yeah, just yeah.
but Owen
It's
Wilson
just a
ends up,
fun and wacky movie.
he ends up passing out in the hot tub, and there's a really great moment with there's two Wangs in the movie. One's ginormous and one's not so ginormous. There's a really funny joke in there. It's just a it's a rom com. No, I'm not trying to sell you on it. I bought it for the wife.
No, what I mean is, I'm confused.
You're confused. Well, they get in trouble by their wives.
One wing is big,
Right.
And the other
wing is
Not.
small.
Well, it's like I forgot the joke, but there's two guys.
No, I
and
didn't.
they-
I was trying not to
totally these
spoil. I was
wings.
trying not to spoil the
Yeah.
entire thing. I'm trying not to spoil it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Because I know you're gonna go home and borrow this from me.
I want to watch this movie so bad right now.
So
how many wings do you give this movie?
2.5 wings. They get in trouble for being
Douchebags.
typical asshole dudes.
Right.
Things that
Douchebags.
dudes talk about, except for end up getting. There's
Let me guess. Do they eventually learn to appreciate their wives?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
That's
Maybe.
how it
stop
is.
acting like 14-year-old boys?
Yes.
I have never seen the movie,
that
and
sounds
I
like
can
a really
already tell
fresh
you,
plot.
hey, we got hall passes to go sleep with whatever we want, but
For an entire
we love
week.
our wives so much.
They
that
end
we
up- yeah,
ain't
they end
gonna
up-
do it.
He ends up almost doing it, and then he does. Yeah. And
They
then,
always end up almost.
But the
doing
one
it.
guy does do it.
Yeah,
I won't
the-
say
the
who.
friend always does it.
I won't
Yeah.
say who does do it, but he ends up something ends up a turn of events happen. He actually does it, and Christina Applegate actually does it with some dude too. So and then
You know what? I
Well,
think
we both
Christina
did it, and
Applegate.
it brought us closer together.
right,
Yeah, Christina Applegate, who started out like on Married with Children,
right.
Brady Bunch.
has turned into a really decent comedic actress.
First
I think she's
season
quite
up all
funny.
night. Fantastic.
Like, is that the only? No, they did 2 seasons.
Two
so-
seasons?
Yeah,
Anchorman.
but she's good. Yeah,
Both,
Yes.
then.
I would not have thought that she's.
I loved her in
That's good.
Anchorman.
Oh,
She's-
Anchorman 2's coming
Yeah.
out.
Can't
Yep,
wait for that.
That did you watch the teaser?
I saw a teaser.
So
Yeah.
It was
Hall
funny.
Pass, it's fun. It's fun enough. Whatever. Watch it if you want. Definitely don't buy it. I just bought it because the wife wanted it, and whatever. It's a fun enough movie.
Now it's tainting your shelf.
You know what a good movie is if you want to see just wieners?
Yes.
But a comedy is that Walk Hard.
Yes,
seen Walk Hard?
yes,
The Dewey
I own
Cox
that.
story?
I own that
Oh
too.
god.
The wiener scene made me laugh so hard.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Because they did exactly what they should do with the wiener scene. Is they just stuck a wiener there, and it had nothing to do with anything. It's just there. And
It's not a big reveal.
why is it
It's
there?
just-
Just
yeah.
move it.
I love Kristen Wiig. I love you, but I just know you're gonna fail. I always have
thought
like
Dewey
14
Cox-
kids. I love that movie. I
I'm
love it.
14 years old right now. I got 3 kids.
Yeah, yeah. So okay,
You're gonna get me a monkey?
Yeah.
Like she's got 3 kids and she's worrying about a monkey.
So if you want to see a good movie, watch Dewey Cox and pass on Hall Pass.
All right.
There you go.
Get it for your wife if she wants it, but I won't be watching that again.
So does anyone have news besides me?
I think Lewis, you have some right now.
I think Lewis does too.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the picture of Raphael talking to April O'Neil
What?
on the internet?
No, but
So-
we can look that up.
The actor who plays Raphael is in his like capture suit, for the animation
Okay.
they put on, and Megan Fox is dressed like Megan.
Is she
April.
in
April.
yellow?
Yeah, I guess. I didn't watch the cartoon.
Yeah,
I
she's
just read
it's
the
a
thing.
yellow leather jacket.
It's
that's awesome.
kind of fun to look at the picture just so you can
It's
see
hilarious.
the giant shell. Like he's got this big poofy capture shell on his back, and this poor actor. And I don't know how
Full
actors do it
leotard,
anymore.
kinda.
Like from now, acting is just about talking to a guy who's made up in some kind of weird technology, realizing that this will all be changed in post.
Yeah.
Anyway, I bring up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because it's now officially Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
They changed it
switched
I got it
back.
back to teenagers and mutant.
So apparently,
So
well,
Michael Bay
no,
or whatever.
Michael Bay,
finally-
at least he stated that he never was in planning on making it space themed. But
He's a lying
yeah,
liar.
I know.
who
I know. He's
lies.
like, I don't know what you're talking about, and then he's like, I just didn't feel like I needed to answer to anyone. And
Dick.
Just because I make crappy movies doesn't mean. Wait,
wait,
he's terrible.
what about the first Transformers movie? Wasn't bad.
Eh.
The first one. Come on.
What about Bad Boys 2? I had a
It-
lot of moving camera shots.
No.
Ugh.
I had a hard time
Whatever.
keeping up with that one. Hey, Will Arnett is in this.
He's Vernon Fenwick. Who's that?
He's
I don't know
he's
who
either. Is he the boss? Like the news boss or something?
I don't know. Apparently, he's a character though in the original.
Or maybe he's a
Stuff.
cop. I don't know.
Chief. A good reporter's not supposed to get involved in the stories. Maybe he's a chief.
That's
of
why, yeah, the boss
the
of
boss. Okay.
the newspaper or whatever.
So in other news, do you guys remember Only God Forgives? We looked at the poster for it with
Yeah.
Handsome McHandsome. What's his name?
He,
The handsome
The Notebook.
Ryan Gosling.
Yeah,
I thought you were
Gosling.
talking about
Oh.
you
No,
and
that
You and
was-
McGregor.
McGregor, I know.
That's my boyfriend. No,
When's that coming out?
well, here in Lewiston, probably never.
2013, it says.
But it's been reviewed a number of times. It's by the same director who did Bronson and Drive.
Oh, okay.
It's getting either 5 stars out of 5 as being just superlative and beautiful, or is that a word? Superlative? Did I just make that up?
Well,
Or it's getting like turkey zeros, and the guys that are hating it say it's too violent, it's too graphic, it's
Good.
just too
Good.
over the
Okay,
top,
good.
to the point where it makes you sick.
I give
Good.
the trailer 5 stars out of 5. It's fantastic.
It's beautiful.
The
The
trailer's
colors.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Should we watch
I
it?
want to
Amazing.
see it.
I
mean,
give
I
the
wanna see
poster
it.
5
Right.
stars out of 5. The beat up face poster, not that
Yeah.
one, but the beat up face poster.
We'll look up a red band one. Hold on, I'll take that back away for
Really?
a second. I'll look up a.
So
red
anyway,
band
apparently it's going to be a love it or hate it, but I sure liked Bronson and I sure liked Drive.
one.
Yeah.
I loved Bronson. That was so
Yeah.
good.
We'll see though. I mean, sometimes it just you go in with high expectations, you get disappointed. So it could go either way. Yeah, look at that beat up
Oh, yeah.
face.
Are you 17?
Yeah.
I
Be
am
at
not.
least.
Click that.
I'll click it
yellow
for you.
I'll
box.
close my eyes.
I am
guys.
not.
Thanks, guys. I can't see this.
It's gonna stick with you.
Oh my word! Every time anyone uses the word "not," I immediately think, "I did not hit her. I did not." That comes out of my mouth about 4 times a day now.
I'm glad I could bring that.
Oh.
Yeah, thanks. Look up.
When I was pregnant with you, it was strange you were different.
He's so
If I may
dreamy.
terminate,
It's not playing on the screen over here. There we
I
go.
don't understand you. And I never will.
Holy shit.
Why don't the guy just bite his fingers?
He probably is.
ดังดอกไม้แห่งความหวังมีความฝันที่กว้างใหญ่และใจลืมเพลินและมาตื่นฝันยังคอยหลอกกลอนยังคอยหลอกหายใจไม่ตาเธอ
You want to fight?
That's awesome. So good.
Ooh, look at that.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh, everything is, yeah. Any hallway reminds me of Old Boy, and then I get excited.
Yeah,
I
right?
see hallway fight scenes, I'm like, oh, it's so good.
A good hallway fight
Yeah.
scene is the best. So I don't know. I think it looks beautiful, but
Yeah.
a lot of critics are saying it's over the top, violent, and just
But a lot
disturbing.
of critics also gave shitty movies great reviews
Well,
too.
now,
I give shitty movies great reviews.
now is it because
Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3.
True.
This is my Star Trek
But
Into
like
Darkness.
really, really bad movies. Like they had a big hard on for what was it?
Sleeping Beauty.
No,
Oh, Sleeping Beauty was so good.
I can't remember. But
Sleeping Beauty was the best movie of ever.
The best movie I've ever
of
had.
ever.
Don't give
no,
them the
they
wrong
had
idea.
they had a big hard on for. Are you trying to think of a violent
Yeah.
one? Django
No.
Unchained. That was
Yeah, well,
really
yeah,
violent.
exactly.
and-
They said that was terrible.
Django Unchained's good.
It's good.
It's not terrible.
Like
They're wrong.
and they're always complaining
Now,
about something.
Is this because
It
it's a
offends the
foreign?
children.
Is it because it's a foreign film?
Well,
Or a
this
foreign
one is
director anyway?
technically American, but the Nicholas Winding Refn, however you say his last name, he's foreign, and he's one of those Scandinavian guys. And people from Scandinavia,
I don't give a
man,
fuck.
they've got a whole different outlook in the world, which I kind of like
Yeah,
it. But I mean,
Scandinavian people are honey badgers, right?
well,
They don't
I
give a
don't
shit.
give a shit.
Yeah.
well, I mean, have you ever listened to death metal from Scandinavia?
Black
that's
that
that's
fucking
where it's the
black metal,
blackest of
yes.
black,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
It's like how I like my coffee.
Blacker
than black. Talking hills coffee.
I don't know. Maybe it's this kind of like flack people are getting for violent films influencing
Yeah.
people, and so we kind of say, "Oh no, let's not watch a
Right.
violent movie because then it makes people go and shoot people."
Cool,
And I'm
yeah.
like, "Hey, let's not do that
Yeah.
because that's nonsense."
That is nonsense.
Violence-
And so I get frustrated that violence gets kind of pigeonholed. It gets like this special,
Well, it's a fact that there's probably more violent movies now than there ever has been, and it's also a fact that gun violence has been, despite all the terrible events that have been happening, is going down as far as overall.
Overall,
Yeah.
yeah, violence. Okay. The other thing I heard about is that Steven Spielberg might be directing a Halo TV series.
I heard
What?
this too.
Producing.
Producing.
And it's going to be exclusively on Xbox Live for the release of the Xbox One, which is their new console.
Yes.
The Xbox One. We're gonna count right back up to 360.
We're going to do a 360 once.
Did anyone did anyone get to watch the other Halo shorts? I know you could rent down the Redbox.
There is-
They got that.
I haven't seen 'em.
Something Dawn,
They-
right?
They-
Forward Unto Dawn. It's called
Yeah.
Halo 4 Forward Unto Dawn.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix currently. You can
Is it?
watch it. It was supposed to be
Yeah.
an entire series. It's only 96 minutes long, so I'm wondering if they just slammed all three or
They're-
four of them together and made
Well,
one.
was it
long
maybe
thing.
like a web
Yeah, they
episode
did.
kind
Yeah,
of thing?
yeah,
Yeah.
it might be.
And
But it's a
for-
live action dealio.
For how it's made,
Is it
it's
good?
actually not bad.
I haven't watched it yet.
Like you'd think,
It's in my
because
list.
a lot of like the non-movie stuff, they don't have a ton of money or good directors or actors.
Right, right.
But I was actually surprised. I mean, just go in with low expectations and you'll be probably blown away.
Is Master Chief in it?
Maybe
don't
not.
know.
So this is what they're gonna. This is gonna be the future of TV. You know it is. We're gonna get our shows through Netflix and through Xbox,
Which
and
is
all those guys.
great.
I do
Yeah,
like that. I think
why
that's
not?
cool.
Let's
It's-
let the
the-
fans start making
Exactly.
things for what the fans want to see.
Netflix gets to see what people watch, and they're like, and then they see that the shows are canceled. They're like, well, let's buy
Yeah.
it.
Well,
If people are gonna watch it,
Yeah.
Speaking
Exactly.
of,
they
Arrested
base it
Development
off
start
of
Yeah.
soon.
they base their stuff off of ratings
Sunday.
but a lot of
Sunday.
people can't watch it at 7 o'clock because a lot of people are working, or they got a show that plays at 5 and people are working, and yet they like the show because they got to see it that one time.
well, it's a great
Well, I
idea.
don't understand TV that exists
why would
without
you-
DVR and Netflix. I
Yeah.
don't understand how people live.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me.
Not
Our
anymore.
world doesn't exist
Yeah, it
anymore where
doesn't-
you have to be at home
Yeah.
Wednesday night to catch your 7 o'clock show.
Can't go
I
to
can't
the
go.
movies because I got to get home and watch.
Right. That used to be a
Wrestling
thing.
tonight.
Yeah.
That did used to be a thing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not a thing
Well,
anymore.
it is a thing with my folks. sadly.
And one of the reasons, actually,
But it's.
one
Gotta
of
get
the
home to
reasons
win a fortune.
gotta watch my
in the olden days,
I love you, Mom and Dad.
a show would always reset by the end of the show. So if you'd watch an episode of Star Trek, well, if you missed an episode of Star Trek, you didn't really miss anything. Or if you missed an episode of Knots Land, well, I don't know, that's probably not good. Three's Company, you didn't
Fantasy
really
Island.
miss anything, right? Like you didn't come back the next episode and say, "Oh, guess what happened last episode?
Well-
Yeah.
This guy got arrested and now he's in prison." Like nothing ever really.
The only
I-
way I've been able to watch Hannibal is on Hulu.
yeah, absolutely, because you can't miss
I
an
don't even
episode
know. I
of
don't even know.
Hannibal.
I don't even know what time it's on or what channel.
It doesn't
Well,
matter. Yeah.
Not only
You can watch
that,
it.
though. Well, I mean, I don't know how far back we're going, but society was a little bit different as far as work and school and quote unquote family time.
That's
as far
true.
as
That's true.
eating dinner in front of the TV or watching TV after dinner. Family time.
the entire
There's-
landscape.
It's
of
not.
the
It's not like.
family has
It's
changed.
not like the homes had 80 channels and 3 TVs. There's one
Well,
TV and
let
8
me
channels.
talk about being old for a minute. When I was a kid, no, this is true. When I was a kid, I would
Yeah, such a good movie.
I would come home from school, and I'd have to do my homework, and I'd hurry up so I could watch cartoons, and I would just watch whatever fucking cartoons came on.
Yep.
And I would watch He-Man, which was a piece of shit, and I watched it every day. And I would spend every day going, "This is a piece of shit," but
What about
what
Jo-
else?
Johnny
And then
Quest?
at night, I would watch whatever was on, and I had 3 channels to choose from, but I just sat in front of the TV. And you'd pee during a commercial. That was how the
Yeah.
world used to be.
Yeah.
That was it.
Did you have the
Same here.
channels with the clunk clunk?
Oh
clunk?
yeah.
I
Oh,
did.
yeah.
Yeah, me
Styles,
too.
yeah.
The idea that
Yeah.
you just sat in your couch and didn't move, which I do now, like I literally am. I'm
The,
so
the
sunk into-
remote that had the buttons that stuck out that far, and you're like,
I had a remote that had a cable that ran to the VCR across the room.
did you wind
That's
up your
pretty
TV too?
I got you beat. We never had a remote growing up until
You had
Later.
the clicker switcher. You also had to move your antenna sometime,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
To adjust that.
Oh,
Yeah.
the good old
Oh, yeah.
days.
Yep.
Oh,
Good old
yeah.
days were bullshit. I'll tell you what. I live in 2013. It's awesome.
It is.
Like this world
It
is
really
built for
is.
me. The kid.
Agreed.
The kid that I was, 30
Yeah.
years ago, had no idea how great it was going to get.
Yeah.
With computers and the shows, like Avengers the movie.
Yeah.
That would never have been even a thought when
Yeah.
I was a kid.
Well, they
Or
would have
any comic book.
they would have
movie.
written that
It was
right
like,
off.
man, that'd be
Yeah.
awesome. But
Well, do you
they
guys
would
remember
never
the
do it.
Spider-Man TV show?
Yeah, I watched
I
every
watched
episode.
the
And
shit
it was
out of
my
that.
favorite.
Yeah, I think I've seen every
And I
episode
love how
like
he
3
would crawl
times.
up the building. They had
Not
him
mine.
hooked to a rope, and they just
Batman.
pulled him up, and he would pretend to be moving his arms.
Batman was always number
The
one.
1960s Batman with Adam West is still fantastic.
Except for
Ew.
the movie.
No,
The
the
movies-
animated Batman.
Go back
Animated
and watch the
series Batman.
1960s Batman.
that's
They're
what I'm
the
talking about.
funniest show
I
you've
have
ever seen.
I
They're
have brought
hilarious.
home the Batman movie from the 60s.
I've watched the Batman
It's-
movie too. It's bad.
Why?
And it's about
But
45
it's
minutes
still
too long,
Yeah.
So,
He has shark repellent.
some,
Right.
of the, some of the episodes were pretty entertaining. But
Yes.
you're like,
I just
same bad time,
Well,
same bad channel.
and the style of acting that the
Yeah.
villains were
Oh, it's good.
were just it was literally like watching a play on TV.
Sure,
It was
sure.
that style of acting. Like they didn't know what else to do.
Well, and I remember when Tim Burton put out his Batman, the very first Batman with Michael Keaton, a lot of critics, speaking of how critics can be stupid, were angry because it wasn't funny like the TV show.
Yeah.
And that's
It was
what
so
Batman
good.
is.
All the fans like myself were like, yeah, it's the comic. The comic's dark. Thank God.
But back in when Adam West Batman, the comics weren't that.
no, the
a lot of the
comics were
comics
really
were-
light.
yeah.
Did they start getting darker like in
Hey,
the
chum.
70s or so?
In the 80s.
80s?
Yeah.
When
Didn't
Reagan took over and the economy went all
Crazy.
wonky. Well, I mean, it's always wonky, but the world went in a weird place, and all the comic book writers who were very liberal got really dark when the conservatives took over,
Gotcha.
right? So, yeah, the 80s, you see a real shift in comic books.
Interesting.
You get The Dark Knight Returns, you get The Watchmen.
Didn't who wrote Dark Knight Returns?
Frank Miller.
Frank
Frank
Miller.
Miller, yeah.
Who's an
Miller's
uber
always been
conservative,
kind of I was gonna
He's
say
almost a fascist. He's really interesting.
good old fashioned.
Yeah.
Good old
Justice.
fashioned fascist.
Well, which is funny. He is a conservative, but he still kind of makes fun of Reagan and Dark Knight.
In The Dark
Returns.
Knight, he does.
Returns.
Yeah, he's changed over the years. The Frank Miller who wrote the Dark Knight Returns is quite different from the one that writes
Well,
Batman versus
a lot
Osama
has
bin
changed.
Laden.
Or the Frank Miller
Which
that
is
wrote
real.
Sin City. Or
Yeah.
yeah.
So, Thomas, you recommended a movie for our homework. Do you remember what that was?
Safety not guaranteed.
Okay, let's hear it first from
Oh,
Jared.
we have
Wow.
a sigh.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, let's hear it first from Jared.
All right, Jared.
That movie sucked so bad. Story was good. I liked the story with it a little bit, but I could not stand the fucking chick. I wanted
Aubrey
to
Plaza.
rip.
Aubrey
I
Plaza.
wanted to rip my head out if she rolled her eyes anymore every time she's talked.
That's true. Another thing.
She may be your Michael Cera.
Oh my god! I just could. I wanted her to fucking just stop.
What was the
Stop
lead?
being quirky, but you're not like quirky.
What was
Bullshit.
what was the lead dude's name? I
Mark Duplass.
do not like him.
Really?
The Time Traveler?
He's from
Mark Duplass.
He's from New Girl. No.
No. Mini Project.
No. Not. Oh, is that the Mindy Project guy?
He's
Yeah,
one of
he's
the
one of the-
upstairs
doctors.
the midwife
The
from
midwives,
upstairs. The
Whatever
brothers.
he's from, he drives me nuts on that show. So I
could
couldn't.
have gave two shits less about his whole little story.
I liked Kenneth though. I thought Kenneth.
I
was
loved Kenneth
badass.
because he was just
Badass.
weird and quirky
Who's
and
Kenneth?
Kenneth was
like
the
legitimately like
time traveler.
Like I was like,
Oh, I
this
thought
guy's
that's who we were
No,
talking
he's
about.
crazy and weird.
Yeah, that no.
Mark
Duplass,
Duplass
he's
is
the time
Kenneth.
traveler.
Right. No,
yeah.
I'm
Kenneth.
sorry. The other
the
lead guy.
Oh, the
who
cool
came
guy
back
with the
to
glasses.
sleep with-
I think he's
Oh.
from New Girl.
I've
and
never seen
he
him
drives
before.
me fucking nuts.
I've never seen him before, so I didn't mind him.
I think I might recognize him now.
All right, I'm gonna have to.
Okay, so
you guys keep talking all
the Indian
IMDb.
kid.
Yes,
and he's
he was
literally
funny,
like
yes.
an East Indian.
Yeah,
He was hilarious.
yeah.
I thought he was funny.
I
Yeah.
thought the guy that you guys didn't like, Jeff, was the name of the character. I thought his story was really interesting.
Really?
Yeah,
And
we thought
I
it was okay.
loved the movie.
Yay!
I loved it. I thought it was
His
because
name's Jake Johnson.
it's yes, that's the guy. It's a time travel story, but it's actually about how we travel through time
And
with
he
our
is-
memories and
right.
our hopes and our
Yes.
desires and our
He's
thoughts.
he's from New Girl, and I couldn't get that fucking shitty show out of my head every
I've
time I
never
saw
watched
it.
New
See, that's
Girl
'cause
because
you-
I
it
don't
has-
either. My
it has-
wife does, and it drives me
We
batty.
see the
I'm like,
last like
I
1
can't deal
minute
with
every
Zooey
time we
Deschanel.
watch the Mindy Project.
Yes.
It's always on right before
Yeah,
we catch
yep,
the end
yep.
of it. And we're like, why
what
do
the
people
fuck?
like this
Yes,
show? I'm
it's,
sorry,
It's shit,
not good.
and I can't get it. Like I'll come in from the shop or come up from down here editing something. And I'm like, why the fuck is this shit on my TV? Oh right, because I'm not a dick and you do whatever you want while I'm not here. But why the fuck is this on? I'm in the room now. Change it. I could not stop thinking about how shitty that show is, and every time he was on. That being said, my one note, it says, I hate hipster comedy. Why did I like this movie?
It was kind of
I-
hipster. It's
I-
a Washington movie.
Yeah, and that was one of the really cool things about it, because
Yeah.
looking through it the entire time, like I might have driven past that several times. That is
Yeah.
really fucking cool. The scenery was very familiar. The places that they did go in Seattle all looked familiar to me. If you've ever been to Seattle
Right.
more than once, you'll recognize several of the location that they picked. I liked it because it's not a movie that you would normally see. And that's one of the reasons why I really did enjoy it a lot. More
Unless you
than I
watch
should
indie
have.
comedies.
Well, it wasn't like quirky for quirky's sake, though. I thought that it was unique, and it was rightly so. I really appreciated it.
And
I thought it was great.
I appreciated the part that it was truly a time travel movie first and foremost. Like that was pretty fascinating. And the fact when it got to the end, spoilers, that it turns out it actually worked. I'm like, holy shit! I did not see that coming.
Probably.
Yeah.
It may have
One of
disintegrated.
two endings. There may have
Good
been,
point.
yeah,
That's a good point.
disappear
They may
or
have
time
just
travel.
But the fact that they actually went
that's
there
why
with
the
it,
girl that he likes is still alive.
Because he
Right.
went back in time. That's what I said.
Obviously,
To
yeah.
Yeah, and she goes in the tin, and there's nothing there because you only put something there if
something
something
went
goes
wrong.
wrong.
Something goes
Exactly.
wrong.
So we kind of get some clues, which is nice. Yeah.
So that was the only other
So-
thing I did never figure out is did he actually fix it or did it never happen and it was all in his head? That's what I could never figure
Who
out.
knows? Yeah, that's tricky.
And they keep on making it sound like, oh, he is legit, and then they'll bring you back to where,
You're like,
Yeah.
oh, he's
actually,
fucking crazy.
Yeah.
He's crazy.
Yeah.
And then
No, he's legit. Oh, he's crazy. Yeah.
But I think
that's
that's
why
the trick.
that's the
Go
only
ahead.
that's the only guy that I like throughout the whole movie.
Oh yeah,
was
Mark
the
Duplass
Kenneth,
is the best
Kenneth
actor.
dude.
I like
like
him.
I felt really bad for him. The
I
whole
did
time.
too.
Like you're just like poor dude.
And when he started
Like,
playing that fucking
his ear made me so.
sitar
Zither?
Wasn't that the
Yeah.
best?
I was like,
that was
Yeah,
amazing.
really good.
pretty sure that was legit
Yeah.
and cool. I liked
Yeah,
that.
you saw he was playing
Yes.
too.
Yeah.
And I love that I was expecting some shitty little song like
Yeah.
I miss my girlfriend.
Yeah, yeah.
And
No,
instead it
it's
turned
amazing.
into like this beautiful
really
song.
like
And I was
something I would seek
what?
out and listen to.
Think
Yeah,
it's-
Yeah,
I liked
yeah.
it a lot.
I love that little. That,
I just wanted him to punch that chick in the face. The
okay,
whole time.
so
her lazy eye. Fuck, I hate her. She is like Michael Cera.
Oh,
it
Aubrey-
irritates
Aubrey-
the fuck out of
Aubrey
me.
Plaza doesn't have a lazy eye.
Yes, she does. Watch the fucking
It's,
thing,
it's
dude.
her right.
No, it's her left eye. When she's staring,
They're
and
both
when
lazy
they're
at
in
the
that
same
meeting.
time.
This one.
I said it was her right.
Yeah.
I was right.
No, the other eye.
No, it's
the
that
other
one.
It's that one.
No,
This
it's
one's
not.
more open than this
it's
one
the
is.
other one.
Because that's because she's in a weird angle. When she's in the thing and
Okay.
it's looking straight at her, this eye is looking over here.
Well, it doesn't.
This one is still more open
See,
than this.
that-
Or sorry,
that-
this
that's
one's more
what I
closed than
said.
that one.
That's what it doesn't matter though. I don't think
but
it matters.
I know it doesn't matter, but she just like
if you
because her character I didn't like because okay, she's supposed to be like I'm not like social and I'm kind of like awkward, and then they have that meeting to go see Kenneth, and she's like sitting up on the counter cross-legged like what are we gonna do, guys?
I think
Like, go fuck yourself.
I think you're overplaying it. Not only that, but if you're not, because I think we spoke about this before, as far as there's some actors that we don't like, and a lot of times we use the excuse it's because they're typecasted, but almost a majority of actors are typecasted. So
right.
it's just personal preference. Jared doesn't like
I just
her.
don't like that
But
nerdy like I'm antisocial,
if-
but I'm not antisocial.
But I thought
character.
she was though. I really do. Like
She was
throughout.
pretty. She was pretty bad.
She was awkward and she was
was-
uncomfortable.
yeah.
She was a recluse. I mean, she had problems.
and there were character reasons for her to act the way she did.
And I think they should have talked
Her-
more
the scene
with
with her
Shannon.
dad's awesome.
I like Shannon.
The scene with her dad.
The redhead.
No, the
Stacy.
black guy. The black guy where
Jeff Go.
at the thing and she brings that little thing for him and
that's
he's
right.
like
Yeah.
my wife, you know. And I'm like I want to hear about this guy, not fucking Glasses being a dickhead to that chick because she's fat or whatever, and that she didn't want to go with him.
But that was part of it. That was the mirroring, the doubling of the wanting to change things or go
Yeah.
back in time. And so he had this.
But he was just a dick.
And that's actually one of the big.
He was.
I think he
Like,
was
he's just a
mostly,
dick.
but I think there was a slight
But there was a point.
shift.
There was a point when he
Yeah.
kind of like you're like, God,
Yeah.
he's a dick. Oh, he's
but yeah,
kind of
then
got-
once
He's
he
just a person.
he's a dick
once
with
he,
a heart.
Once he finally starts helping out the little Indian dude.
that was funny. Now
That was
hilarious.
good. That
Now-
was good, right? He was changing his life.
Yeah.
He was
Well, and
time
all-
traveling in his
and then that goes back to the time travel thing where he's trying to go back to a better time.
Right.
What's sad's he almost seems like it's at that point where he thinks he's reached that fairy tale where he's satisfied, like he can settle down,
Right.
and then. Because she lives in a little town, you expect her to be kind of like,
let's do
stars
this.
in my eyes, let's go to Seattle. But it's like, in a way, she's
she's
kind
like,
of
fuck
like,
off.
well, it was just kind of a fling. She had good memories of him, and like to him, that's like it's kind of like this final straw where he's like, "Oh, I started to care again, and this is what I get." and then
Right.
he just goes on the tantrum, and that's why I think he goes and helps the
I
Indian
kind of
kid.
I felt like the reasoning for all of that build up and then the letdown was a little bit over. Like, really, you had a tantrum over that? Like, she shot you down. Just fucking try again.
Well, that's the point though. He's the type of guy who doesn't care.
Yeah.
And the thing is,
He's the
for
guy
once,
that always gets thrown out, but says, "I'm throwing myself
Oh,
out."
yeah,
well,
from
and
the
then
the
it's
baseball game.
and you can tell it's the
throwing
first.
myself out. I like that. I thought that was so funny.
You can tell it's the first time in a long time that he actually put his heart on the line,
Yeah.
and that
And
it
got
would be
shot down.
Yeah, and like he even says, it's the fairy tale, and you know there they are, and everything's perfect, and then she kind of like, oh, that's cute, and then I want you to move with me, and she just kind of shoots him down. And it's
Yeah.
like,
And that-
oh well,
yeah.
it's cut, and then he reverts. I mean,
Does
kinda
what he
goes
does,
reverse. Yeah, and you know he put himself out there. He was, you know, brutally
brutally
murdered.
honest, and brutally shot down.
Yeah.
Also, can I also say that the entire sequence of the shenanigans they get up to that night probably could have landed him in jail easily, like running around driving an entire
small
fifth
town,
of
small
whatever
town.
that was.
I think the funniest part though is when he steals the lasers.
Yeah.
Yes,
And like opens the door and there's that party. And he's like,
I love. Yeah,
and then when he comes out, and they're just staring at him like.
And then they follow him
and then
down the
he
hallway.
just slowly starts walking.
they're like, hey.
probably should do something
Or
about this.
you can see the camera's point of view, and he's rolling on the ground like he's moving out of line of sight of the camera, and it just looks silly.
Well, that's one of the reasons I really enjoyed this movie is I felt like the script did some really fun things where we have a break-in, but it's just the most inept break-in ever.
and
Or-
sort of awkward.
But it's successful, and I thought it was not going to be successful.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna get in trouble
Or
too.
we-
Yeah.
Or we have
Yeah.
a breakup, you know, where the guy gets kicked out of bed from the girl, and I was just like, oh, of course, and at some point he'll realize and go back and apologize, and they'll fix.
And
Nope,
it never happened.
you know, like so there were some good,
some real life moments.
or there's a fake ear.
I know.
The ear.
I felt so bad for him.
I
He
know,
starts
you
freaking
do.
out in the thing.
Yeah, he's like, it's off. Like,
Yeah.
Jesus
he,
Christ,
he
dude.
does a
Storms
good
off.
job being. Yeah, we've been repeating it, but the socially awkward. Like
yeah, he did good.
he, I think he had it down to where it was realistic enough, and yet it was just still a great balance with the humor, and that's obviously
When
the
he's
writing.
stacking the
but-
cans and he's like, like that legitimately made me like him because he's really like playing an awkward character, unlike the main chick.
Whoa.
Well,
Who were the Jennifer Lawrence and Hottie McHottie Pants who won the
Silver Linings.
Silver
Playbook.
Linings Playbook? They were quirky and interesting and unique, and I felt like he did that. Like he was that
Mark
character.
Duplass
Mark
did that.
Duplass did a really good job of
If-
making me care about who he was.
Yeah, if you don't know Mark Duplass, he and his brother, they're two guys out of Texas, and they just started making like small time movies, and kind of became famous. Like, yeah, go down a little bit, and you'll see, like all the way down. See, he made a movie called The Puffy Chair. That was like their first movie, and then he did Hump Day, which I didn't see. He did go up a little bit. One called where's Baghead? I'm sure he was in. Maybe he didn't act in Baghead.
Is that the
but he
one with the
directed.
creepy cover?
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
with the bag on someone's head.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, but
actually
that's
kind of a good. But
yeah.
he started out as a small time guy. Just
Oh, never mind.
he
That's
just
still creepy, but it's not the cover I was thinking. of.
he was just like, you know what, I want to make movies, and so he started making movies, and now
he did Fido?
No.
Oh.
People who like this.
Oh, I should probably read.
Yeah, but
I don't know
I'm
how,
always
though.
I'm always impressed with someone who kind of makes their own career, you know, because Hollywood's not the kind of place anymore where you can say, I'm going to be discovered and be a star, you know? And there's no way Mark Duplass would ever get discovered. He's just some average Joe, right?
Yeah.
He had to make his own way.
So you guys liked it. You're
I
in
did.
the middle.
I liked it a lot.
I gave it 4 stars on the whatever.
And
I
Jared hated it.
Aubrey, what's her face, does or sort of drives me nuts, but that main dude, because of New Girl,
I give it a 5 out of 10.
I can see
Wow.
not liking Aubrey Plaza because I
5
find
out of 10, huh?
her to be very one note for the most
Just
part.
because
I think
of
she
one
did
actress?
a decent job in this.
Just because I didn't like, I only liked one character in the whole movie.
Okay.
Like that's the only reason why. Like, It was a good movie, but it was just could care less about anyone else but the Kenneth dude.
Oh, that's too bad. I thought it was pretty fun.
I did like it. I liked it because it was unique. It was a different storyline than usual. Couple laugh out loud moments for me.
I was hoping that the end though, like it would just like
Yeah.
exploded.
That would have
been blood or whatever.
That would have been funny, but
and they're just like, oh
yeah,
my.
that would have been funny, but not.
Or it didn't work at all.
Yeah.
The rumor is that the director of Safety Not Guaranteed, Colin Trevorrow, is going to be directing Jurassic Park 4.
Wow,
Really?
Yeah.
Is it a reboot or is it an actual?
I thought it was supposed to
what
be a
they've
continuation,
said,
right?
Yeah, it's they're not using any of the actors
As long as Plaza's in it, I'll
from
be
the
happy.
original. But Sam Neill, yeah, see, he's the only person listed on IMDb is
The director.
Colin Trevorrow. Yeah, none of the actors from the other Jurassic Parks will be coming back.
Rick Jaffa is going to do the screenplay.
Super. Yeah,
Yipper.
if you want to see Jeff Goldblum again, you're probably going to have to wait for Independence Day 2.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not.
Dude, I am so watching that.
How the fuck do you get a second?
Because aliens only invade once a year.
Twice.
The mothership wasn't
And
actually
on
the mothership.
Independence Day.
It's time to invade. This is our invasion day.
That we will not go.
Greatest speech.
We'll
Flying
not-
into the night.
Oh, I love that. I love that speech. That is the best speech ever.
Ever.
What do you want from us?
There is no.
There's nothing on IMDb.
There's
Is this
nothing on that.
glass bulletproof?
Nope, it's just
No,
some
sir.
rumor on the internet that I picked up somewhere. How am I?
Well,
That's fantastic.
hopefully they don't.
All right, we'll see.
Or The Fly too.
The Fly too.
I mean,
I need more Jeff Goldblum in my life.
I would like that too, actually.
So anyway, I'm gonna say good pick, Thomas.
thank you.
Yeah, I agree.
Now for my homework, I'm gonna assign homework for next time. I'm gonna assign a movie I have not seen but has been on my queue for a long time, called Troll Hunter.
Ooh.
Sounds good.
We'll see. We'll see. It's about some guy that hunts trolls.
No.
You don't say.
Go on.
Well, I haven't seen it, so we'll talk about it. And
Here's what Cinema Blend has on Independence Day 2, by the way.
But,
Oh,
Not anytime soon, but it will happen.
oh, super.
Well, that means
2073.
Yeah.
Looking at Will Smith's IMDb page makes you want to put the movie industry under 6 feet of dirt.
Bad Boys 3, yes. No, I'm kidding.
Bad Boys 3, iRobot
Hancock
2,
2?
After
Really?
Earth.
iRobot 2?
Karate Kid 2,
Hancock was horrible.
Independence Day 3.
Ooh.
Does he win the most numbers? Like,
I
can you
think-
add up movies that have numbers in them, like sequels and stuff, and see?
Bad Boys 3,
That'd be a
that's
great
gonna
list.
Wait, he's going to be in Karate Kid 2?
so bad.
Am I the only one that thinks Will Smith makes terrible movies? I mean, look at this
Yeah.
list. They're terrible.
Not that great.
We'll name a,
Oh, really? I Am Legend prequel. Okay, yeah. They already screwed up on the... Such a good book.
They're gonna make Men in Black 2 Men in Black 3 Part 2. I'm sure they would just call it 4.
Right.
That's probably easier.
I don't know about iRobot 2. That one was
The first Men in
fine
Black wasn't
as it
bad.
was.
first
You know
one,
what?
like,
iRobot.
originals, I think.
I
'cause
thought
Bad
I was like,
Boys was
this
pretty
is
good.
all right, and then I rewatched iRobot,
It wasn't a bad
and it
buddy
was
cop movie.
terrible. I was like, what?
It's no Lethal
like, it
Weapon,
was
but-
bad.
Yeah.
Right.
The original Men in Black had a few funny moments. I didn't see 3.
I watched
I
it
didn't watch
see
it.
that.
at the
It's
Dollar
bad.
Theater.
Sugar water.
yeah,
Come on, yeah, he did an amazing job with the...
Edgar, your skin's hanging off your bones.
Good
Yeah. All right.
stuff.
I think that's a show, isn't it, kids?
Midget
What
cricket.
are we gonna assign for next?
Troll
week?
Hunter.
Troll Hunter.
Troll Hunter.
Again.
That's
We'll
right.
have you.
Yeah, sorry.
I know you're looking forward to it.
It's all right, buddy.
At least Audrey Paus's
Yeah,
in it.
Can't wait. to
It's
see
an
Troll
Aubrey
Hunter.
Plaza movie. Michael Cera.
I
And it-
hear she rolls her eyes at the trolls.
And they turn to stone.
I can't wait.
Oh, you know what? And she also just talks their ear off to death about how quirky she is, and then they're just
She stares at the
away,
ground.
and then it's over. So,
That sounds good. So anyway, we'll try it.
So that's our show, guys. Thanks for listening. If you guys have any movies that you want us to review, please let us know on timespentpoorly.com. Hit me or Nathan up on the Twitter at
right.
Nathan L. Betts or at Sir Jared.
I just remembered we're supposed to review Feast fan request. Fuck.
That's right, and I gotta
Forgot.
find it because I tried looking it up. And
it's on Amazon rental only,
Yeah.
I think. So, yes, we will get to it. Amanda will get to it. Feast, but we
Yeah.
promise from 2005. We'll
Not
remember.
until it's on Netflix.
That's
Instantly. Forget it, Amanda. Forget it. But they'll watch
There's
it.
no sound. Oh, there it is.
It's right there. I can hear
Couldn't
it.
hear it.
It's all right.
Thanks, anyways, guys, for listening to this podcast. We finally got the cameras to work,
Should be working.
so hopefully this will be up here soon. Thank you guys for listening again. Have a wonderful movie night, I guess. I don't know. I'm kind of just.
You're good. It's okay.
Are we good?
Yeah, we're good. It's there. See you later, guys. I feel like that went pretty well.
I feel like it didn't go well.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I feel like it went pretty bad.
Why is that?
I don't know. I feel really sad. I don't know why. I feel
You want me to-
because Lewis hurt my feelings with Batman.
Do you want me to come cuddle you,
I'm
Jared?
still angry.
I'm sorry.
Don't cry.
So sorry.
You broke my heart, Lewis. You ripped it from my being.
He's tearing you apart.
Tear me apart.
Oh, call us if you ever want us to give us a call if you ever want to call us. It is 1-888-317-2694. And one of these days I'm going to actually learn how to speak properly. Blame it on the homeschooling, but that's not even it. Fuck. Timespentpoorly.com.